עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Welcome. I want to thank everyone for being here on behalf of Rabbi Grunwald, Eitan Cantor, and the Kaufman family. Thank you for being here today to honor the memory of Shimon Kaufman and support the Kaufman. Where's Gatit? Oh, there she is. Like, we're missing one. Thank you, everyone. There's a Pirkei Avot, a Mishnah, that teaches that Rabbi Nearai said, Have goleh lemakom Torah. Move yourself, literally exile yourself to a place of Torah, to a community of learning and to support. Shimon Kaufman did this when he left Nazi Europe and he went to Israel. He exiled himself from what was his home, but he also moved himself to find a vision, leaving behind deceased parents, moving to a place in Israel to find a Makom Torah, to find a place of learning, family, and community. Shimon and Gatit also did that. They left, Golim. They left. On the one hand, it was exile. On the other hand, it was fulfilling a vision to move, to find and help build a Makom Torah, a place of Torah and community. As we look around at this group of people, we see a group of people that love and care so deeply about your family, and we also see a community that you loved sharing with your father, a Makom Torah that you every day, whether you're standing outside greeting or fulfilling, being on the board, whatever this amazing family is doing, the Abraham and Sarah of our community, you are building this chave. You are building this Makom Torah. And today, this Makom Torah is showing up for you. I'd like to begin by inviting the Kaufman family to come up and to face your community, these amazing people that have come here. Come stand up in front of this. And amongst all the memories and the blessings and the things that Shimon left for the Katif family, and I just heard that there was maybe a lighter and a jacket and other things that Abigail may have inherited, right? There's also this beautiful talit that was Shimon's that I've already seen Ayala Davin with. She led Shacharit in this just last Shabbat, and Amir has been wearing it. And this is a talit that represents your father's warmth and his legacy, and all he did to build a place for his family and for the Jewish people in Eretz Yisrael. But this talit also represents how we are here to hold all of you. And so before we begin the Mincha service, I'd like to go around and I'd like to just invite anyone who would like to share one word, a word, because otherwise we'll be here until next Shabbos. Just one word of something that you want to wrap the Kaufmans with today. Okay, and I'll just come around if you'd like to add it, just go ahead and say it loud so that everyone, including family and friends on live stream, can hear it.
Love. Support.
How's that?
Togetherness, special family, peace, enthusiasm, memories, healing,
Involved. Thankfulness. Light.
warmth.
I was gonna say warm.
Shalom.
Friendship.
I know those two words. Healing. Islam. Sifovim. Stories. Love. Wisdom. Practicing. Kindness. Belonging. Colorado family. Mishpacha.
Friendship.
Peace.
Refuah.
Compassion. Kindness. Compassion. Love.
Just receive all those blessings, that now this talit is very heavy, carrying all of that as it holds you. We're gonna sing Oseh Shalom one more time, and I just invite you to let all those words just to receive and to settle in as we hold you today in memory of Shimon and in memory of all those words of community.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
Go ahead and take a seat. That Pirkei Avot ends by saying, and do not rely on yourself. Do not rely on your own understanding, because part of finding a Makom Torah, as you all know, is by finding community, finding other people that you can rely on for both wisdom and also for support. We're now going to begin the mincha, the afternoon service, because we are so blessed with so many souls here today that we'll be calling page numbers out of 2 different sidurim. So if you have the one that is the dark red maroon weekday, Sim Shalom, we'll begin that on page 124, I think it is. No, 120. So this will begin on 120, and Rabbi Grunwald.
289 in the red Sigur left show.
So listen for Rabbi Grunwald's voice if you have the other one. Do you want to daven here? Do you want this?
Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha, Od Yehallelucha, Od Yehallelucha, Sel Hashem Shukach Hashem. Tehillah
Adonai
yedaber pi vivarech kol basar Shem kodsho leolam va'ed va'anachnu nevarech Yah me'ata le'ad olam Hallelujah.
I invite you to rise as you're able as we turn to the Chatzi Kaddish on the middle of page 121.
יתגדל ויקדש שם מרבה ויעלמד יברכתי וימליך מלכותי בחייך ונביא מכהן וחיי דכל בית ישראל והגדל בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן ישמרם לך לעולם לממיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי קודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תוש ברכתה ונחמתה דמירה ועמה ואמרו אמן.
We'll continue with our personal prayers beginning on 122 and then come back together for the repetition in a few minutes.
Or 291.
We continue with the repetition on page 122.
Or 289.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'lev Avotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah האל הגדול הגיבור ונורא אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ומביא גואל לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך חוזר ופוקד ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ופוקד שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיה מתים אתה רב להושיע משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע. ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. נקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב ביד נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ויאמר. קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלך כל הארץ כבודו למעתם ברוך יאמרו. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו ודברי קודשך כתוב לאמור. מלוך אדוני לעולם ולא יקצון לדור ודור הללויה, לדור ודור נגיד קודלך, לנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לימוש לעולם ועד, כי המלך גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. תכונן לאדם דת ומלמד אנוש מנה, כונן מתך דעה בנביא השכל, ברוך אתה אדוני כונן הדת. השיבנו אבינו תורתך וקרבנו מכאן לבדתך וחזרנו בתשובה שלמה לפניך, ברוך אתה אדוני הרוצה בתשובה. שלח לנו אבינו כי חטאנו ומחל לנו מכנו כי פשענו, כי מוחל וסלח אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני חנון המרבה לסלוח. ועיניו יענינו וריבה ריבנו גואלנו למען שמך, כי גואל חזק אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני גואל ישראל. רפאנו אדוני ונרפא, הושיענו ונבשע, כי תהילתנו אתה, ועל רפואה שלמה לכל מכותינו, כי אל מלך רופא נאמן ורחמן אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני רופא חולי עמו ישראל. ברך עלינו אדוני אלוהינו את השנה הזאת וכל מיני תבואות על הטובה, ותן טל ומטל לברכה על פני האדמה, ושבענו מטובך ושבענו מטובה, וברך שנתנו כשנים הטובות, ברוך אתה אדוני מברך השנים. תקע בשופר גדול לחירותנו ושנס לקבץ גלויותינו, לקבצנו יחד מארבע כנפות הארץ, ברוך אתה אדוני מקבץ נדחי עמו ישראל. השיבה שובתנו כבראשונה, ויועצנו כבתחילה, ויעשה ממנו יגון והנחה, ומלוך עלינו עטרנה לבדך בחסד ורחמים, וצדקנו במשפט, ברוך אתה אדוני מלך אוהב צדקה ומשפט. ולמשנים תהי תקווה, וכל הרישה כרגע תעובד, וכל אויביך מהרה יכרתו. יזידים מהרה תעקר, תשבר תמגר, ותכניע במהרה בימינו, ברוך אתה אדוני שובר אויבים ומכניע זידים. על הצדיקים ועל חסידים ועל זקני עמך בית ישראל, ועל פליטת סופריהם ועל גרועי הצדק ועלינו, יהבו נא רחמך אדוני אלוהינו ותן זכר טוב לכל בכים בשמך באמת, ושמחתנו מהם ולעולם לנמוש כי בך בטחנו, ברוך אתה אדוני משען ומבטח לצדיקים. ולירושלים עירך ברחמים תשוב, ותשכון ביתך כאשר דיברת, ובנה אותה בקרוב ימינו בניין העולם. וכיסא דוד מהרה לתוכת אחים, ברוך אתה אדוני בונה ירושלים. את צמח דוד עבדך מהרה תצמיח, וקראנו תרום בשורתך, כי לשורתך קיווינו כל היום, ברוך אתה אדוני מצמיח קרן ישועה. שמע קולנו אדוני אלוהינו חוס ורחם עלינו, וקבל ברחמים ורצון את תפילתנו, כי אל שומע תפילות ותחנונים אתה, מלפניך מלכנו להקמת שיבנו, כי אתה שומע תפילת עמך ישראל ברחמים, ברוך אתה אדוני שומע תפילה. יצא אדוני אלוהינו בעמך ישראל ובתפילתם, וישב את העבודה בביתך, תפילתם באהבה תקווה ברצון, תהי רצון תמיד עבודת ישראל עמך, ותחזינה עינינו בשבילך לציון ברחמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, המחזיר שכינתו לציון, מודים אנחנו לך. שאתה הוא אדוני ולאבותינו לעולם ועד, צור חיינו מגן ישנו אתה לדור ודור. נודה לך נספר תהילתך, החיינו המסורים בידיך, ועל נשמותינו בקדור לך, ועל נצחך שבכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלתך וטובתך שבכל עת ערב ובוקר וצהריים, הטוב כי לא חללו רחמך, ומרחם כי לא תמו חסדך מעולם קיווינו לך. ועל כולם יתברך, ויתרומם שמך מכנו תמיד לעולם ועד, וכל החיים יודוך סלע, ידעת שמך באמת, האל ישועתנו ועזרתנו סלע, ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך ולך נאה להודות. שלום רב על ישראל עמך ועל כל יושבי תבל תשים לעולם, כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
Please rise as you're able to. We'll continue with Kaddish Shalem on page 134.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברך כתב והמליך מלכותי בחייכון וימכון ובחיית כל בית ישראל בגלל זמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבך לעולם לעולמי עמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנבא ועשה ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה הודיה מירן ביולמה ואימרו אמן. תתקבץ לו תונו ואדונו כל ישראל קודם אבו נשמעיה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום הרב משמיים וחיים עלינו וכל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו וכל ישראל וכל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן.
Amen. Continue with Aleinu on page 135.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגון עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומודים לבני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. There's a Hebrew song, Ha'ish Hahu, that guy, that special guy. That was a song that Shimon really was special for him. And Eitan is going to sing that song for us before we tell stories about Ha'ish Hahu, before we hear from Amir and Ayelet and Abigail and Gatit, a little bit about Ha'ish Hahu, that guy. We have some copies, clearly not enough for this Makom Torah, but we have a number of copies of the song around. You can look at it in Hebrew, English, or transliteration, and it is a bit complicated song, so much so that I've never seen Eitan work so hard on a song. This one actually tested his musical abilities, so it just goes to show that how much love he has for the Kaufman family. Just seeing him slave away listening to this was a special testament to the kind of love that you share for this family. Feel free to sing along as you're able to.
Please, please.
Want to play the guitar?
איפה ישנם עוד אנשים כמו האיש ההוא אשר היה כערבות הבוכיות איפה ישנם עוד אנשים כמו האיש ההוא אשר היה כערבות הבוכיות למרגלות ההר נולד ליד הנחל בחורף שר בין ערבות הבוכיות בקיץ בין אורות ביצי המים לחמו שילח על פני נחל לדגה מקנה הסוף קראת לו עפיפון כשהיה לאיש מגבולי הערבות הבכיות התעסוקה מאבן המבצר האפורה בנה לו בית על מי הנחל תחנה הקים זרע שדות שלח עונו על פני הים בעיניות הסוחר אך יש אשר יניח כמלח מו ויהיה פתאום לאיש אחר איפה ישנם עוד אנשים כמו האיש ההוא אשר היה כערבות הבוכיות איפה ישנם עוד אנשים כמו האיש ההוא אשר היה כערבות הבוכיות למרגלות ההר נולד ליד הנחל ידוד צור נפש על ההר ובב חיים ונופלו בבוקר לא אבות אחד על אדמתו יקנו לו אחוזת עולם ליד אמות המי השקטות איפה ישנם אנשים כמו האיש ההוא אשר יושב בערבות הבוכיות וכמו מבצר עתיק היה בסוף הדרך איפה ישנם עוד אנשים כמו האיש ההוא אשר היה כערבות הבוכיות איפה ישנם עוד אנשים כמו האיש ההוא אשר היה כערבות הבוכיות.
Thank you, Eitan. I'd now like to invite up Amir to share some words in memory of his father.
I promised myself not to cry, and I worked on it all week, but I couldn't. I mean, Eitan, it was beautiful, and everyone, I mean, I'm absolutely amazed. I mean, before I prepared was something to say, but before that, I mean, this is the community that my father was always talking about. And of course, now I need to gather myself. And I want to say I'm speechless, but I'm not speechless. I have what to say. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here with us, honoring my family and my father. Unfortunately, most of you did not have the chance to meet my father personally, so I'll try to tell you a little bit about him. My father was a strong man with a high level of self-respect. He was quiet, sensitive, and although he was not officially educated, he was extremely intelligent. The highest level of education, or formal education, was first grade due to World War II. His life story is the story of the state of Israel and the Jewish people in the last 90 years. He was born in a small town in Romania in 1932 to a low-income Jewish family. He had memories of going to the synagogue with his father on Shabbat, holding his talit, and memories of his mother lighting Shabbat candle, where he described her as an angel. When he was 9 years old, he lost his parents in the Holocaust and was left alone in the world with a 3-year-old sister. For 5 years, he survived between the ghettos and the streets until he immigrated to Israel in 1946, where he was arrested by the British military and put in a detention camp since immigration to Israel was illegal at the time. In Israel, he joined the Haganah, a resistance movement that fought for independence from the British mandate. And in 1948, he participated in the Israeli War of Independence. Since then, he fought in all Israeli war, from the Sinai War in 1956 through the Six-Day War in 1967 and the Yom Kippur War in 1973 until the Lebanon War in 1982. By the way, there is a picture over there with my brother in a regular service and my dad in reserve service meeting around that time in the 82 war. You may think about how a man's character is being shaped when he struggles for his personal and national survival most of his life. For many years, he carried a tremendous guilt. When he came to Israel, he left behind a younger sister, and he was told that she will be on the next boat to Israel. She wasn't, and the connection between them was lost. He made every effort to try to find her and reconnect, and he was able to reconnect with her around 1960. Minded you that there was no diplomatic relations between Israel and Romania, so there was a lot of back and forth, back channels and bribes that had to be involved. Finally, in 1964, he was able to bring her to Israel, where she has built a new life and family. Although he was 14 years old when he left her behind and she was 8, this haunted him till his last day. My dad was not afraid of hard work. He started by paving the road to Eilat in the 50s and then worked in the copper mines in Timna, next to Eilat, and then as an assembly line worker for most of his career. He embedded in us, his children, the values he believed in, for social justice and the existential necessity of Israel to strive for peace with its neighbors. Although everything he experienced in his life, he always saw the good in people. He loved Israel unconditionally. When he grew up, he knew nothing about Israel or Zionism. He knew that he was a Jew, but he became a passionate Zionist. He traveled the state of Israel almost every weekend and knew about all the hidden gems in it. He could always advise about a place to visit, where to find good food close by. He was a great storyteller and captivated people with his stories. He loved my mother a true love. They were married for almost 63 years, and they built our family without any support or help. They started from nothing and built financial stability for them and us, their kids. They raised my sister Rama, my brother Asher, and me in a loving and stable home. They instilled in us the importance of education, something they both lacked because of the hardships of their lives. I must say that they were successful. All three of us, their kids, acquired education and built amazing families, and we have brought a lot of pride to them. Our success came back to the home we grew up in and in the values we were educated on. On a more personal note, a few years ago I told him that he is my hero. He was surprised, and he told me that when he thinks of a hero, he thinks about someone like David Ben-Gurion or Yitzhak Rabin. And I told him that in my eyes, his heroism is personal and accompanied him all of the days of his life. I told him that it took me many years to understand that he is my hero. He responded with a shy smile that I can still visualize today. My memories with him go back to him teaching me how to ride a bicycle without training wheels, continuing in the weekly trips he took us on, in my bar mitzvah that we practiced every night, and continued in learning how to drive. He told me that passing the DMV test was fine and great, now I need to pass his test before I can use his car. And the memories goes on and on. The last thing we did together was a haircut I gave him about a month ago that was a very personal moment between me and him. My life is intertwined with memories with him, and it was always important for me that he'll be proud of me. He always said that he's a proud Jew. When I was 17, we had an identity discussion, and I told him that I feel more Israeli than Jewish. He was disappointed with that statement, and he said that he's sorry to hear that. Today I understand that he was right. I am today, first of all, a Jew and then everything else. But as usual, it took me many years to reach this understanding. I am very grateful that I got the chance to tell him that. One of the defining moments for him of being a Jew was in Europe before they boarded the ship that brought him to Israel. They were told that there are too many people on board, and the captain refused to sail until the people would get off the ship. There were about 2,700 people for a ship that was supposed to fit 600. As a response, one of the other Jews stood on a wooden box and yelled back, "This ship is going to Israel. If we die on the way to Israel, then so be it, but we will die going to Israel." He told me that this was the first time in his life that he felt proud being a Jew. My father was thrilled that we made a connection to the HEA community. He was excited to hear me daven, and of course his heart was filled with joy to listen and watch the girls leading services and reading Torah. I aspire to be a good person like him, and I know I still have a lot of work to do. From the day Gittit met him, she told me that we are alike, and I always saw it as a point of pride for myself. I will miss his generosity, his ability to always see the good in people, and above all, his stories. I can go on, but I'll stop here and say I just love you and miss you, Abba. My father asked us to write on his tombstone, Yehudi Ne'eman Le'amo, a Jew loyal to his nation. There is no suitable sentence to describe my father, who was a Jew with a good heart, innocent in the best sense of the word, and whose Judaism was not necessarily just a religious affiliation, but part of a deep cultural and historical identity. Wherever he visited, in Israel and abroad, every time he would come back home, he would say, "Bechol makom tov, babayit achi tov." Every place is good, but being home is the best place to be. He passed at home after a very rough week and a rough year. He turned off his systems when he felt that he lost his dignity. Abba, I love you and miss you. For your legacy, I want to be brave like you, a good Jew like you, and above all, a good person like you. אני אוהב אותך, אבא, ומתגעגע אליך.
Now Ayelet Kaufman is going to share a few words. You can come up together for support if you want.
Okay, I just want to say thank you all for coming. It means so much to us to see how much support and love we receive from the community and from our friends and family, or as was said, our Colorado family. Okay. Saba, I don't have enough words to explain to you how much I love you. Although I won't share them here, there are so many memories that come to mind when I recall of our time together. You always manage to fill my life with an indescribable amount of joy and happiness. I don't think you can understand how much you've influenced me to be the best person I can be, and how much you've helped me see how important it is to be proud of my identity. It is thanks to you and to everything you fought for when you were little that I'm proud to tell everyone I see that I'm Jewish. I'm also aware of how you never gave up on what was important to you when you were young, because it's thanks to you that I tried so hard to connect with my roots. I'm not in the right place to talk about all my feelings right now, because I have no idea how to explain half of what's occupying my mind or my heart. But I know you understand, and that's all that matters to me. You understand what's going on through my head, how much I love you, and all the words I forgot to say to you. In short, you're the one I always looked up to for the right thing to do, and the one I have to thank for this family's existence. Saba, you changed this family's history and the history of the world. You're not only my hero, but the hero of many. You never stopped giving all that you could to your family throughout all your life, just to ensure that the people surrounding you had a wonderful quality to it. So although I've yet to come to terms with what has happened, I knew that it was time you finally got a break from working hard. You were the type of person who could only ever see the good in things, and you brought out the good in me. I feel that I can never bring to justice all that you went through, because there's no chance that I carry the amount of bravery that you did. But I know that no matter what I do, you'll be proud of me. And that's all that matters to me, because your opinion has always been one of the most important to me. I hated how hard on you it was to slowly grow older physically, while mentally you were younger than ever. And I would never wish to place that kind of stress on you again. But I do wish we had a little more time together. I wish I had a few more minutes to hear your wonderful laugh, or your fascinating stories, or possibly hug you, or even hold your hand one more time. It's a shame that time works like this, because I'm going to miss you so much. Nothing feels real anymore, especially not this. One day you're in our life, and the next, in a matter of minutes even, you move on. Now, they say that a person dies twice. The first time when their soul moves on and they receive their much-needed rest, and the second when someone says their name for the last time. So even though you may not be with us in this world anymore, I will never let you die a second time. Your memory will forever live on in us and our family's future generations, the same family you worked so hard to build. Your legacy will never be overlooked, and we'll never stop talking about it or you, because there's nobody out there like you. I loved you endlessly when you were still here. I love you so much now, and I will not stop loving you for the rest of the time that I have left in this world. One day, I hope to be even a fraction of the amazing person that you were and the grandfather that I knew, even though the word amazing doesn't even begin to explain what a wonderful and unforgettable person you were. You will forever live in my heart, and I hope that someday we'll meet again.
Thank you, Ayala, for your beautiful words. And now Abigail has some words to share about her grandfather.
My grandfather is not truly gone, because his memory lives on, in all of us who loved him, never to be forgotten. My grandfather always looked on the bright side of things, and always believed in God, even though everything that happened to him in the Holocaust. He once told me to always wear a Star of David on me, and to be proud of my religion. And I listened to him, and now I always wear a Star of David on me, no matter what anyone thinks. Every single story he told me, I will always remember, and I will tell others, so his legacy will live on. I am proud to call him my Saba, because he's truly my hero. When I came to my grandparents' house, I would always see him on his black recliner chair, and I'd come to him, and he'd always tell me a story about his past. When I came to my grandmother's place after he died, I saw his chair, and I broke into tears. I will miss the stories he would always tell me. My grandfather told me at the age of 9, his mother passed away, and before she died, she told him to someone take care of my baby boy. And now at the age of 90, he is reunited with her. As I say goodbye to his physical presence, I am comfortable knowing that my grandfather's spirit will always be a part of me. We'll always remember you, Saba Shimon, because there will never be another one to replace you in our hearts. And we love you, and we always have for you.
Beautiful. Thank you for your words. And now Gatit is going to share some words about her father-in-law.
Shimon, my father-in-law, and in Hebrew, Chami. Chami in Hebrew comes from the word cham, hot, warm. When these words are coming to my mind, this is exactly what Shimon was for me. He was like a father to me. He was a warm person, pleasant, friendly, generous, likable, kind, and a good person. A person who shared his enthusiastic about the world around him. if you were in his presence, you will be lifted by his passion, his stories, and his love to education and knowledge. Shimon was a humble man. If he was able to see you all here, knowing that all this event is just for him, he would be embarrassed. He would feel uncomfortable of being surrounded by all of you here, by your love and your presence, because this is how hard it was for him to be who he is. But he was shy, a humble person that did not like to have a lot of fuss around him. But allow us now, you deserve that. So I want to thank you all for coming here. I mean, it's a shame you cannot see you guys from here. This is such heartwarming. So making this special event happen to all of us and for him. I want to thank you, rabbis and Eitan, for providing us this beautiful and heartwarming opportunity. I would like to share with you guys all what I learned from him in being around, knowing him for 20 years. I learned from him to appreciate life, to focus on the positive and not on the negative, to let go of the anger because it is pointless since it doesn't serve us and it is just toxic to us. Shimon taught me that when you are doing something, pay attention to the details. Do it the best way you can, no shortcuts. I learned from him that hard work is the way to get things done, and every job is respectful. I learned from him to enjoy the beauty of Israel, the view, the smells around, and that what it was for us to really see the beauty of Israel. This is, what we have around is our privilege, and it is us to acknowledge it and to appreciate it, because it's not here forever. I learned to be on time, to respect other people's time. Okay, this is something I'm still working on, but I think I'm getting better in it. I learned to ask questions, to hear his stories, and his past experiences. Your stories are part of us now. Your dignity to admit being a Jew during the war, even when you ended up being beaten harshly. His journey in Romania and the hate he experienced teaches me to be proud of my Jewish identity. It was important for him, therefore it is important for me. Above all, he taught me to laugh, to enjoy life and what we have, since it's a fragile thing we have, and it will not last forever. So I am. I need to be honest, it is not an easy thing to do, but I'm working on it. So I would like to thank you, Shimon, for all that you gave me, especially sharing my life with your lovely son, who learned these values from you and lives by them, your granddaughters that are continuing your legacy and living by your values as well. Shimon, I know you're physically not here, but you are with us always. You are part of us. You continue to live within us, with us. Your legacy continues. Thank you all.
In a moment, we're going to continue with the Mourner's Kaddish, which you can find on page 136 in the weekday or 302 in the Shabbat and Festivals, Lev Shalem. Before we continue with Mourner's Kaddish, I want to recognize that in addition to the Kaufman family that we're holding here today, to Amir and Ayelet and Avigail and Gatit, I also want to recognize, Karen, we're holding you here, and Aaron and your family. We're also holding Alvin, who is right here. Alvin, who just lost his brother Dick last week. Julie Fishman, who just recently, just a little over, it was almost 2 weeks now, right, Julie? Just so recently lost her father. She's been out there with her family supporting her mother. And many in this room have lost someone recently. So we're holding all of you in that metaphorical talit, in that presence. All those in mourning or observing a yortzeit, I invite you to rise and join me in the Mourner's Kaddish on page 136 or 302. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, Bagala uvizman kariv v'imru, Amen. Ehe shmei Rabbah mivora leolam omeomaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. Vitadar vitalev vitalal shmei dekudsha barichu. Le'ela minkol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Damiran bialma v'imru, Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. You may be seated.
We say to mourners, the traditional words of consolation to mourners are Hamakom yenachem etchem betoch she'ar avlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. And in this sentence, God is referred to as Hamakom, which literally means the place. And I think the reason why we invoke God as Hamakom when we address mourners is because a sense of place is so powerful in a time of mourning and grief. It was important for your family to travel to Israel, to be in that place, to mourn with family, to be in the place where Shimon lived, with your mom, with your sisters. And you've returned now to this place, to this makom. A few years ago, you and your family chose the Hebrew Educational Alliance as your makom, as your community. You've invested yourself deeply in this makom, in this place. And I want you again to take a look around at the people who've come to support you here, an amazing community that you've built for yourself. And I bless you to always be held by this makom, this community, and any place where Jews come together to pray together. The Talmud says is God is present in that place. And by the turnout this afternoon to support you and your family, you have a wonderful network and a wonderful makom that I bless you will continue to hold you as you hold others in this community. And so we want to offer you these traditional words of consolation as we sing together, Hamakom yenachem etchem betoch she'ar avlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim.
Hamakom yenachem etchem betoch she'ar avlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. Da 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 da. Ay 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 ay. Ay 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 ay. Ay 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 ay.
like to invite up Amir's friend Ted Brooks, if you could come up with here to hold the Torah for us, actually. And please rise as you're able to. We're going, Eitan and I were just teaching this morning to the 6th graders something from the Talmud that says, Makom Shirah, Makom Tefillah. In a place of song is a place of prayer. And we hold, as we sing El Malei Rachamim in memory of our dear Shimon, we hold his memory in song and prayer and blessing.
El Malei Rachamim Shochen Bamromim Hametzei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei HaShekhinah במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמת שמעון בן אשר וציפורה שהלך לעולמו בגן עדן תהי מנוחתו אנא בעל הרחמים הסתירהו בסתר כנפיך לעולמים וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתו אדוני הוא נחלתו וינוח בשלום על משכבו ונאמר Amen.
Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure to the soul of our beloved Shimon Kaufman, who is gone to his eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that our loved one find perfect peace in your tender embrace, his memory enduring as inspiration for commitment to his ideals, his land of Israel, and the integrity in his life. May his soul thus be bound up in the bond of life. May he rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. We'll go ahead and we'll return the Torah to the Ark. Thank you, Ted. Please continue standing as you're able as we conclude today's service with Hatikva. After Hatikva, of course, right? What else would we end this with? For Ishahu, for this man and his dedication to the country of Israel, to his family, and to everything that the dream of Eretz Yisrael, Hatikva, the dream and the hope represent. After, we'll invite you to join the Kaufman family for some refreshments and some time together in the foyer. Thank you for being here.
כל עוד בלבב פנימה נפש יהודי הומייה ולפתי מזרח קדימה עין לציון צופיה עולם ודעתי תקוותנו התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון ירושלים להיות עמך